Hi, my name is Taran Singh. I'm from Birmingham, and I'm a 3D artist. And what I'm going to be talking about today is reclaiming our heritage using digital technologies. So a lot of the time when we look at relics and artifacts in museums that are related to minorities, they're usually given in a context from the modern British view. So, for example, the Kohinoor diamond from Punjab, we see it in the context of the Queen's crown, but we never really see in its original form. So we came up with the idea of using digital technologies to be able to recreate, the objects how they would have looked at the time. So we were very successful in reproducing these objects and making them look real. We did this by approaching museums and private collectors and overcoming a lot of issues with insurance and costly kind of transport issues with relics and artifacts, and then creating digital replicas using various digitization and scanning techniques. We found we were able to create quite realistic looking objects with realistic looking materials that reacted to light using actually game technology to do this. We primarily do this by using traditional CAD software to kind of reproduce objects, using photographs as reference. And just as an artist would paint a painting, we create a 3D model of these objects to create a realistic replica. The advantage of having a 3D model is that we can actually produce pretty much anything, and we were able to produce bits of jewelry, but also show them in the correct context as well, to how they would have been worn on the hands. We were able to put these objects onto touch screens, and these were quite successful with young people. So trying to engage new audiences, especially young people who aren't used to kind of going into a museum and having a passive experience looking at an object behind a piece of glass. With this, they're able to interact with the objects. We were also able to create an augmented reality version of this, where you could get a tablet and look around the object and explore it by walking around it and putting the object in the room. One of the main things that we did was actually use a VR headset and put the objects in there and allow people to pick up the objects. And this was particularly exciting for young people because they were able to kind of interact with objects that they would normally not be able to touch or hold. We took this around to schools and colleges, universities, community centres across the UK, and we get really good feedback from young people. They're quite digitally native and they're used to these technologies. And so we've actually digitized up to 30 objects, and you can find them online on our website, anglo.com. And I work with Gurinder Singh, who just spoke before me on this website. So you can have a look at the objects on there and experience them.